the hard knocks that's happening right now, the insights you gain. I love this program. The NFL Films people are phenomenal. And I understand Mike Tomlin said when he was asked if he was watching the program and its debut night, said absolutely not. I don't know if you know where that drop is, Mike, because it was created by Jay Felly, because you were out making sure that the tubes were all set for UNLV versus Boise State tonight.
I believe I did a 2.2 million watched show.
Okay, very good. Sorry about that, Mike. It's got nothing to do with,
I was hoping any of that.
But at any rate, he was asked absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
When it was the day of the debut. But if he watched, he would see him in an incredible light. And he doesn't need to know that he's in an incredible light, because he knows already what he does for a living, and he just relishes it. I mean, when I know I get accused of caping for this man in Western Pennsylvania, where I guess people began to get sick and tired of the 10-7, 9-8 seasons, or the 10-7 seasons where they're one and done and they're clearly not equipped to tangle with the rest of the elite in the American Football Conference. I understand it.
Been a while.
Absolutely not.
There you go.
Been a while since they've won a playoff game.
I get it. I totally understand that will rankle. But I'll do it again here. So when you see behind the scenes the way he communicates with his players, you see the joy, okay, the pure joy, the intensity with joy, the seriousness with the intensity, and the professionalism throughout. Anybody who's out there can see that this is a professional football coach of the first variety. And in terms of inspiring grown-ass men who make millions of dollars, okay, in terms of that, and making sure that they are ready and prepared, he's second to none in this department. And this episode leading up to the Steelers and the Bengals playing one another, you got to see him talking to Nate Herbig, okay? You got to see him talking to his young pass rusher, certainly with Highsmith out, right? And you're seeing him get him ready to take on Orlando Zeus Brown. And you see how he's talking about Orlando Brown. He's talking about Zeus all week, saying how, you know, the guy you're replacing, Nate, lit him up in Cincinnati to the point where they got this guy. They had to get this guy for Joe Burrow. And he's setting the stage for Nate to have a big game. And he's talking to Nate all week, and you're seeing it. Mm-hmm. And then Nate comes around the edge on Zeus Brown and creates a sack force fumble.
Right before coach was like, you got to kill Zeus.
You see him talking to him all week. You see him talking to him on the sideline. And then it happens. And I just wanted to play this reaction that Tomlin has on the sideline to it happening.
I love it when a plan comes together. It feels good, don't it? Hey, I'm not going to act surprised. That's what you brought here to do. Let's not act surprised. This ain't a lightning strike, man. You built for this. You built for this.
So just hearing that, right? He goes up to Herbig and he's like, this is not a surprise to me. This is not a lightning strike. What a great way to put it. You're
don't
built
be
for
surprised
this.
by this.
Right. Like, I told you to do it. I told you this could happen. I told you this needs to happen, and then you did it. He doesn't go up to him and say, essentially, way to do it for me. It's like, way to do it for yourself. Mm-hmm. And the way coaches coach, and I'm sure he's not the only one. I mean, again, you heard Dan Campbell tell his team, I told you the way this game was going to go and the way I was going to approach it, and then they did it. You heard even Dan Lanning. Remember Dan Lanning in Oregon earlier this year when they were boat racing Michigan? called a timeout to have them all look at the Michigan faithful filing out of the big house to say, don't you remember I told you earlier in this week, we play the way we're supposed to play, and we're going to have them heading for the exits early. And he called a timeout to say, see what you have affected. This is our plan, and you executed it. For a coach to tell players, this is the way it's going to be. These are the answers to the test. This is our game plan. Now go execute it. And then they do it. It makes them look at the coach. At one point, you even see Russell Wilson go up to Tomlin as Herbert came up with the big play to say, you said it. You said it would be Nate. You see stuff like that, and it's just like Tomlin is so damn good at his gig, man. So damn good at his gig. And then you hear George Pickens talk the way that he talks. And you know he's dealing with those personalities too, and those young players too. Yeah. Again, this is him in advance of taking on a Browns team this week that he 100% denigrated. Insulted him a little bit.
Yeah, by saying the snow was the reason they won.
Right. As if the Steelers don't use snow to their advantage and their home field advantage too, right? This is great. About Greg Newsome. Hit it.
You could talk to Greg Newsome at all today, before the game, or anything?
I don't even know who that is.
He knows who Greg Newsome is. I don't even know. And again, this is Tomlin, saying that he's got to let him be him, but also rein him in. It's the latest example of Tomlin being Tomlin, too, man. Steelers have a Hall of Famer on the sideline right there. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku Channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.